This is my endangered eco zoo set in the desert. In the first episode, we set up the zoo by adding staff facilities, introduced our first animal, and built a restaurant to keep our guests fed and hydrated under the hot desert sun, which led to this. My name's Gemma, enjoyed the video. So now that we've got some more money, I'm adding Lehmann's poison frogs to the zoo. If you want to avoid protesters, then always adjust the range of the humidity and temperature. Next, I'm adding in enrichment items, and yes, I do add all of them because I want the animals to be enriched and happy. Now I'm adding in the usual education signs, donation bins and speakers to increase the zoo's education rating and bring in more money. Our second exhibition box will be home to the axolotl that I mistakenly bought 4 instead of just 2. So you'll see me adding them to the box and then I sell the other 2 for cash. And again, we're going to go through the stages to set everything up so it looks good and makes the guests and animals happy. So I wanted to add in another exhibition box, however they cost £3,000 or cash. So in the meantime, I'll set up the population management for these exhibition boxes. And the best way I have found is to sell the babies. So you do this by selecting sell for cash, then the priority is the lowest age. That way any new additions will automatically be sold and you don't have to worry about overcrowding. And so I now have enough money for another exhibit box, so I will copy this one over and then we add an iguana. Or 2 iguanas. And so that's all the critically endangered exhibit animals for this zoo. So now we can get back to expanding our zoo. So in the first episode I forgot to place a toilet down, which is a bit of a rookie mistake. So after I wrestled with the paths in Planet Zoo, and if you know you do know, I then went and decorated the building of the toilet block, and I originally wanted to have this open, but I just thought it looks better just having this door on, and also the pieces don't really align to it when you are going horizontally rather than vertically. So I'm just putting in these trims just now, and then I go away and make this little toilet sign, which I think is actually kind of cute. Yes, I did just say a toilet sign is cute. Anyway, so I'm going back to the exhibit boxes. Exhibit boxes? Is that right? Exhibit, whatever. I'm going back to decorating them, and essentially what I want to do is just make it out of plaster, because plaster is the most easiest versatile material to work with in Planet Zoo. So I'm adding in some details here, and essentially what this building's going to be is the start of our entrance building. You can see the black line there that we put in the start of episode 1. What I want to do is hide the donation bins, not because they're ugly, just because it makes it more realistic for what you would expect in an entrance building. So here I'm placing down some stalls, and essentially what these are supposed to act like is when you go into obviously an entrance building, you would then get your tickets. I could put down some kiosks, but I've put that on the, or am going to be putting that on the opposite side. So I wanted there to be a little bit of variety at the start of the zoo. So I'm just basically mapping out exactly what I want this building to look like using the plaster pieces, and as you can see, it looks extremely boring from this angle. So what I'm working on here is the auditorium, and I am building out a window area. I just wanted there to be a little bit more natural light. We will be putting blinds on it as well, but I just feel like this room is so dark, and I guess auditoriums are designed to be that way, but this room is supposed to be also, you could use it for parties and conferences, so natural light is always a bonus. And I'm just adding in some floor here. I've decided to just go for the wood to make it just nice and simple, and then I was going to continue that throughout the whole entire entrance building, but then I decided actually no, for this bit we're going to go for a tile. So I'm just putting down some plaster pieces just now as kind of like the base of it, which essentially acts as like your grout in between your tile. Now I'm just adding in the art shapes, which work really well as tiles because of the shape and size of them. Don't worry, they do not stay pink. This is just me trying to figure out the shape and the pattern layout, but I do actually go change them out for a different colour that you'll see a little bit later on. And now I'm just adding in some more kiosks. So I kind of jump about a bit when I'm building. I'll start with something like the floor, and then I'll get sidetracked and think, what else can I add into it? So although the interior is not being fixed, we are now working on the exterior. And again, this is just how I build. I always chop and change what I'm doing. I kind of get bored with something else and move on, which might be frustrating to watch, but it's just my style of building. So there we go, there's another massive cut, but I wanted to put in this restaurant. The idea is I wanted this building to be an L shape. So you have the entrance building with the auditorium, and then we have a gift shop, and then it moves around into the restaurant. And it's kind of that classic like exit through the gift shop kind of thing, but I didn't like that because I've been in places that are the exit through the gift shop, and I just thought it'd be nicer that if you wanted to just grab something to eat after being in the zoo or before going into the zoo, it's more like exit through the restaurant. So that was the idea of it. And again, we're just adding more natural light. I love the idea. Everything seems like really open and airy, that you're not in this like confined space, mainly because an entrance building is a massive area for a lot of people, and it's kind of frustrating as well watching this back, and you see like people walking about, and I'm like building at the same time. But that's the beautiful thing about your franchise, is if you have a lot of money, then you can build with your game paused. But in my situation, I don't have a lot of money, so unfortunately we do have to keep the game running. So this section I'm working on now is the gift shop. So you see that there is a couple of stalls in there as well, and then we've just jumped to the restaurant. So essentially this whole section is just putting down plaster pieces, making everything look a lot better. I do go out and change some of the colours as well, and we do add in more details, but I'll show you all of that in the real-time tour part, which is actually going to be quite soon. So don't go anywhere, because it's going to be a good one. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the series as well. I was a little bit dubious of coming back to Planet Zoo and you know, working on a brand new zoo, but I'm actually really enjoying it. So thank you for all the beautiful and lovely comments as well. It really does mean a lot to me, and it keeps me accountable and keeps me going. So this is essentially just putting in the window in the back there, and then we have got more plaster pieces to put down. And you know what, I think we'll wrap it up there, because that is a lot of plaster pieces to watch me put down. So let's go into the real-time tool part. So this is my entrance building, and as you can see, it has £4,297 left in the bank. Now my issue is, what I decided to do, and we will do a proper tour of this, so these solar power that I built up here, if we duplicate them along, you'll see it costs £1,170 to put one down. So you can see that if I put 3 of these down, I am going to be out of money. So I'm just going to leave it at the moment. In fact, we're just going to take that money back, because I'm going to be extremely broke. But I can give you the tour whilst I'm here. So I will actually put you into first person view. So I am going to actually let the game play for a moment, because this will allow us to get some cash, and we will start off on the tour. So this is the main entrance for our zoo, and the reason for that is we have got this little shaded area here, and I have not put on this one over here. So we will see our chief beef, which is on a slant there. We will be doing a live stream where I go into more detail about how to make billboards. We'll do that in Photoshop, but for just now, this is our entrance building. So come in here, got these really beautiful windows shining the heavens down to us. As it is set in the desert, yes, would this be like an oven? Probably, but hey, I have my reasons behind everything. So the 2 animals that we have in here, which is behind our desk there, we'll go into them in a little bit more detail, but they are currently tucked in the back there. And then over on this side we do have another animal, and more facilities for our guests to get something. Oh, they're doing a bit of a shift change, which is lovely. So over here, this is our axolotl, which is probably somewhere in here, which I will not be able to find, but trust me, it is in there. And then if you come over here, this is our auditorium. So this is where the guests can come and learn a little bit more about the animals. They can rent this out for parties, birthday parties, whatever else. You could probably get in a couple of chairs in here. And there is also around the back of here is which might put us onto the roof. So that is a education point, talk point, where the education person will stand here and obviously give their talk out. Now you will notice the roof. The roof is extremely dodgy, and that is because, again, it's a money issue. Every one of these squares I think costs £10, so you can imagine duplicating this all the way across the whole entire building is going to be extremely costly. So I have not done that, and that has been on purpose. So you'll see that it's sometimes on the roof and it's sometimes not on the roof. I am really debating about just keeping it just smooth or to actually include it or not. Over here, this is taken off the workshop. I did not make this, so credit to the creator who did make that. Is our donation, a thank you board. So this is your kind of like a hall of fame. So there's currently 25 slots here, and I've put an example of what the certificate might look like. So instead of it saying certificate of adoption that I have adopted an aardvark, if I get 25 comments on this video, then I will put your username up onto the board, and if we max out 25, then back to the drawing board. And then if you come down this way, this opens up to our second restaurant, which is in this zoo. And we also do have a bit of a gift shop here. It looks a bit sparse at the moment. I've not been on the workshop to take anything off at the moment. Oh, that person just disappeared. That was a bit strange. This is, again, another beautifully open area that our guests can get some natural sunlight in here. And this is our restaurant, which is pretty nice. So I kind of kept them with recyclable theme, so this would be like a metal piece that they've like cut out. It's just been duplicated along the bottom there. We also have these lights, which are surfboards that they've just put in a couple lights and strung them up as well. But I really do like the colours in here. I think it does look really nice, especially with the green, with that kind of like rust coming through. And then I'll just take you over where the entrance to our restaurant is. Slightly changed it up a little bit just because I thought it looked a little bit better. So a little bit boring and dull, but it serves a purpose. And then in here is our staff room. Welcome back. That then takes you out into the courtyard there. But if I take you round the back here, which is to our other restaurant, which I built, and people are enjoying their lunch, and our aardvarks are still at the back there just chilling out. And I also just put some water down because I really wanted to experiment with what kind of water we were going to go for. Obviously it's in a desert, but you do get like beautiful lagoons and trees and stuff, so that's definitely something that we are going to be experimenting with as well. And then there is our staff room, which you would have seen me build in episode 1. So I really do like this, especially like when you get down into the water and you see the reflections of everything. Also, I didn't point out, but there is a little bit of a seating area at the back there that we do have to cover over with some shaded areas as well. But yeah, I just think this looks really cool. Like, it's coming together really nice, and I'm actually like really happy with how it's currently turning out. And our restaurant over there as well. So I will probably keep this in because this is like a really nice vista point, even though you have to get absolutely soaking to see it, but it's looking really good. So the next thing we're going to do is cater for these guys. So this is our aardvark habitat for Winky and Dobby, who I think one of them, which is obviously not Dobby, is pregnant. So we should have a little aardvark on our hands shortly. So that's going to be really, really exciting. If you liked this video, remember to like the video, and I'll see you in the next episode.